There they both are, two identical shoes, both copiously green and indiscriminately snakeskin, reunited on your feet. Like two baby crocodiles. It's pretty clear a normal cop is not what you are. Good, they're balanced, comfy. Feels like the only good thing about you right now, truth be told.
It's raining again. It was clear just an hour ago. Well, this might be the last snow we get. At least I hope so. Snow has nutrients in it. Helps everything green up in the spring. At least that's what my grandma always told me.
Yes, think about the cute grandma, not the weird snow. Stop looking at her. Look around. What do you see? That's right. And the canal, the bookstore, the harbour gates. This is a great vantage point for keeping an eye on you.
No, of course not. I don't understand what this is about. The kid did this, right? The red-haired rat? Can't say a sentence without or kipped. He's always giving me trouble. It is, because he sent you to harass me. He's playing you. He hates the police, okay? A lot of people do around here.
You've been resting here for quite a while, haven't you?
Yes, I'm tired.
I understand. The RCM isn't welcome here, and the locals want to keep an eye on us.
There's silence, the smallest of smiles.
That's okay, miss. Do what you have to do. I think we're done here. Let's go.
Welcome to Revachol.
Don't you welcome to Revachol me. My grandfather came here from a 3,000-year-old racist isolationist culture, while your ancestors came to this island a mere 300 years ago. Every school of thought and government has failed in this city, but I love it nonetheless. It belongs to me as much as it belongs to you. It's men like you who keep Revachol divided, making it that much harder for everyone to climb out of this post-war limbo.
What he means is, fixation on the Revacholian nation makes it harder for Revachol to actually attain self-determination.
Oh, come on, man. I just said, welcome to Revachol. It's a lorry driver thing.
I know exactly what you meant. You think my kind doesn't belong here, that I should watch myself and behave. But you see, I'm an officer of the RCM. It's actually my job to make sure you behave. I would advise you to remember that.
Silence. The air between them becomes tense. Your partner needs backup. Now's your moment to shine.
You two make a cute couple. You know that?
The lieutenant exhales and resumes his regular calmness.
Whatever you say, officers. Oh man, that's great. Look at that guy. God damn. Thanks for that, but...
He doesn't live in Martinez.
Oh, not much anymore. I'm here to pick up some cargo, but the dock workers are on strike, so it's a sit and wait on your ass situation. Apples.
Apples is exactly the kind of thing you'd say if you had something to hide.
Look, as detective, I come from a long line of lorrymen. We got ancient rights and privileges. Oh, I'm here to pick up a load of fucking apples, man. Just...
Koiko may be another derogative. For a person from Grad, you think.
Yep, it's one of their main exports. They grow him down South Yekokata. A beautiful place.
In fact, Yekokata is a desolate wasteland whose name literally translates to Zone of Ecological Catastrophe. It features no scenic vistas and supports virtually no plant or animal life.
Yeah? Says who? Then, I guess they grow apples somewhere else. You can never really tell with those koikos. They're everywhere.
He means the people living in Grad.
Yeah, you know, Gradniks, Gradvolk, those degenerates from Grad. Hey, if the name and description fit by the very grace of nature, who am I to say otherwise? Did you miss the part where I said they aren't here yet? Besides, even if I did have some, I wouldn't go putting my nose in them, huh?
Relax. You've got all you can get here. He probably doesn't even know what he's hauling, even if it is something unsavory. So he'd remain unaccountable.
Oh yeah, they're a big deal. My great-grandfather was a carter. Had a royal license and everything. Sure fucking is. We have a guild and everything, huh? Very ancient. Very prestigious. Goddamn right. They've been trying to fuck us out of our... Trusting street thugs with their goods is going to fuck them right up the ass. It's about biological determinism. Not the most popular topic nowadays, with the coalition in charge and all. You might want to change the topic. That is, bury your head under the sand like common sheep. I'm not just racist. Look, I've read books, huh? The science of racial theory has all been proved, even if some people don't want to accept it. People who've studied these things say that you and me are superior by design. So, naturally, we Occidentals should be in charge. Obviously.
Race is a simplistic means of social classification based on easily observed attributes, hunches, and pseudoscience.
Open your eyes. Haven't you noticed something different lately? An unfortunate downturn, maybe? Huh? When members of the superior race cease to believe in their innate superiority, they stop competing for resources. This concerns you, policeman, so you better be vigilant. The damn kips are showing up good lately. Same with the mosquitoes. And the other intruder species too. They're on the precipice of
Cultural victory? What is this then?
It's what the kips of Boogie Street are going for, right under our noses. And the others too, on the radio. Heard any chansons lately? Heard any motetos or leader? No. Dominating culture is how they plan to win. It's true. Also, you need to realize the dangers of mixing races. Who knows what might happen if people don't stay in their birthplace? You might end up with a new sub-race, with unknown characteristics, leading to extra competition. That's why you've got to control the offspring. Don't push your luck, Runt. Looking for something, Runt? Come to tell me to fuck off?
Scab?
You're hazy on the notion of a scab. Smells like politics, though. Maybe it's got something to do with the flask he reaches for from time to time.
I was just messing with you. No one's ever seen a cop scab. Imagine, you cops going on a strike, but then another cop comes in and says, "Let us cop for less money." Speaking of, what brings the RCM here, to the Wild North? Come to see the strife? Murder, huh? That sounds like a lot of hard work. You'd never see me investigating a murder. Of course, Policia. It wasn't me. You can rule me out. Easier that way.
Should we? He's nice. I don't like nice. He didn't do it. It's the truth.
My friend, I respect the right to roam. The open range awaits. I don't operate in that capacity. I'm not a granter of passage. The passage grants itself.
If it's all so simple, why don't the strikebreakers just go up the stairs?
Aye. Walk right past Measurehead and go in. Yeah, the 2.5-meter tall Semini supremacist there. Walk right past him, then press the button to unlock the door, then go past him again, and you enter the arbor through the office. Está. Don't worry, I'm sure it's not completely impossible. Or you could convert to a Semini supremacist worldview. Or, maybe it actually is completely impossible. Sure. You know, serious business.
He's a chatty guy. Wants to talk about the strike. Return once you've met the union boss and are on a better footing with the organization.
Nobody betrays your degeneracy.
Yeah, Measurehead. His body totally betrays his degeneracy.
Don't say anything. Size him up first.
Are you admiring my morphophysiology? It must be frightening to stand in the shadow of this racial pinnacle. Be calm, Sandwich. You are not in danger, because you are not a threat to me. That is precisely the negligence that has led you to succumb to Al Ghul. You reek of it. An invisible sword of Al Ghul emerges from your throat. You cannot see it, but others can. It is making the woman in my company sick. No, you don't. You need to get another drink. Occidental Haplogroup B4 is done giving orders around here. The influence of the ham sandwich race is waning.
Show him the ham still got it. Does this remind you of someone? The guy down there?
Jerking motions, signs of a late-stage neurodegenerative disorder. How far the Occidental Haplogroup has fallen. You were once a noble and powerful. You gave the world eugenics, electricity, and powerful weapons of war like missiles and aerostatic aircraft. You made great gains in metallurgy, race theory. You dominated lesser cultures, like the deformed Hemians and the inexplicably potato-obsessed Khoikos. But now you will be superseded.
It is, baby, yeah. You know it.
Enough with this begging. You should leave the stage of it. Bring your troops to the Simenine Islands and to Boogie Street, and we will pull. The walls will be lined with bottles of Al Ghul.
There may be a peaceful solution to this. You could internalize Meshached's race theory. He would take you as one of his own. The best idea. Ask what kind of races there are first. Classification is core to this stuff.
Do you?
The lieutenant looks toward the harbor's electronic door, and then to you. He lets out an audible sigh.
You are obviously a liberal, Sayonite. A polyculturalist. I can see it from your love of microtechnology. There are 3 categories of race. Type A, the heroic races. Type B, the servile races. And the vile CF race cauldron of pederasty. Which one do you need education? Those are the Simones, the Areopagite, and a receding genetic pool has led the Mound on reprehensible street parades. In Mound cities like Stad, the Vespertines and Messenians of Vesper and the other large mondial civilization, overproduction of sebum. As proven by the Mound and the Mesk, Occidental type A is in it. The Areopagites are sleek. The latter is perfect.
Nature was not capable of more.
Type
The Khoikos of Grad, Yugo, Zhimsk, Shest et al. Are what you would call white, officer, in a suspect description.
Yes. To an untrained eye, the Khoiko appear white and pink. Pinkness is a rush. The Khoiko.
Wouldn't he be one for ethnostates?
They are me. Its leaders will be Revacholians.
Is it 82,000 years that we've been recording history? You have very little idea of what is happening. But that seems a little off.
The revolution, enough of Tibet. Tips, the F are a museum of failed chimeric. Lesser race, the mosquito.
It seems unlikely that 2 human beings produce genetically sterile offspring.
You are right. You have, Mr.
The sage will not budge on this.
Then there is the Simino Koiki Kaimira. The Khoiko this way, but enough. It is cruel to entertain. You understand nothing. To solve the great race enigma, you have to first ask yourself, what is the race enigma? You have not even worded it. You need to internalize what you have heard here today. Then return to me. This clarity, I cannot possibly imagine what else we have to discuss, Tibere Vasholian. Your love for disco music and venereal disease? Racists are...
The drawings are precise and look true to their pseudo-scientific ambitions. One thing, however, it is not entirely free of throwbacks in the phylogenetic tree. His large jaw, for example, could be a trait indicative of criminalism. Also, his earlobes could be small.
The size of the...
Your earlobes are
Yes.
that atavistic.
Babe, thanks. But I got this. The unpromising race pupil returns.
Yes?
spelled right? Hold up and stay frosty, everyone.
You here to fuck with us? Beat the honest worker down. We're here to fight for a cause. Stripes usually have problems with people who have causes. Good. We're fighting for a cause here.
Right to work! Right to work!
Besides, we're not that different. It helps if people see us talking, cops and strikebreakers together. Shows authorities are on our side. Builds confidence. Maybe you should ask them the questions. Like, we have families to feed.
So do we, Scott.
We were promised work. We'd be in there, working, if the bastards hadn't shut the gates. Main gate's locked. Would take heavy ordnance to bust it open. Could try to get in through the secretary's office. Door's locked. And I don't mean the scrawny mess punk either. I mean head measurer. Or whatever he is. Why don't you go arrest them instead? I'm sure they've done plenty of criminal shit.
It would be better for the neighborhood if you went home, at least for now. If you can't get in anyway.
No! They will give up eventually. Or get drunk. Have fun. Union shits are on full strike. Don't think they're going to let you through the gates. I'm trying to meet their fat boss. I know nothing about a murder.
The mention of a killing sends a barely noticeable shiver of tenseness through him.
What are you talking about? I'm not tense.
Yes, he's tense.
Right to work!
It's shameful. Cops doing nothing. You should bring backup. Open up the gates for us. Blockading gainful employment for workers is a crime.
Why not? I see numerous reasons not to pick a side in this local pity.
Let us work!
Yes?
Welcome to Frit. Feel free to look around or something. Everything is out on the shelves.
What's that magazine she's reading?
You mean this? This is Pop Stars. It's got, like, famous people in it. It's not for sale.
She pops her raspberry-flavored bubblegum and nods. The lieutenant frowns at you before turning to the clerk with an apologetic half-smile.
I don't know. Frit? I think they think that the extra T makes it funkier.
The story goes that normal Fritta with 2 T's, a men's workwear shop in Vredefort, was already taken. So when Fritta Retail Inc. grew into a multinational corporation, they had to add an extra letter to avoid trademark infringement.
Okay. I don't really know anything. I mean, I know it's there, but I haven't seen it, so...
No need to worry. It's just standard procedure for us to ask around. If you're here...
Okay. Not really. No. I didn't know him at all. I don't know, really long. Uh-huh. I don't really know anything. Uh-huh.
The tear machine stands in the corner. Aside.
Oh, that's the tear machine. Oh, that's it's a machine for tear. You know, you find tear outside, like bottles or whatever, and put it in the machine. You need a bag, I guess. We used to have some, but we gave them all out, so feel free to use it if you find a bag, though. Oh,
Inside, you see a set of steering levers, a radio microphone, a pull-out toolbox.
This is Precinct 57. How may I assist you? 57.
In the cabin, you see a set.
Life? I'll be with you in a moment, officer. Let me just...
Have you no shame?
René, you're a man with a fork in a world of soup.
I'm trying to, but you keep breaking my concentration. You're old. I can see that. We're both old. Now stop grabbing your ass like it's a girl. See? Your munching and complaining have ruined my concentration.
Ah, mon Dieu. The pain in my back is unbearable. I can't even...
I hope you pass out from it, you goddamn jellyfish. Men like...
Trying to throw something as close to a predetermined point as possible. Measuring. This must be the age-old game of petanque. You're such a wuss.
Sure, officer. I am René. René Arnaud. Unfortunately, I don't. In Martinez. Cop is a pejorative term. I don't...
He doesn't know about the crime. Your time is better spent discussing politics.
I'm confident they are indispensable in regard to all the paperwork and other administrative duties. But you must agree that nature, in her infinite wisdom, has made men... Really, officer. Match an average woman against an... Gender equality is a very noble, very modern idea.
This coin-operated viewer is facing southwest. Its coin slot is full of... The metal feels cold and wet under your palm. It looks a thick layer of graffito. That's Kuno. Under the graffito, a sea of blues and greys appear. Behind the... You know this to be the star of Periconesus, or the Cairo. The church looks old and weather-worn. You're in a... Whoa, what a bridge with loose nails and rot-infested wood that creaks in the wind. A construction code violation if there ever was one.
Sure, they never cleaned up the war damage. The rest of Revachol looks better, though. The bridge is fine enough. Locals use it all the time, after all. It's nothing to worry about.
Yeah, you better keep walking. The streets will flow red once more. A great torrent rushing down Rue de Esperance. You wait and see.
The streets will not flow red with anything.
I'm Cindy the fucking Skull. What else do you want to know? Date of birth, blood type, the last time I was tested for Hep C. And here I was trying to be polite.
A brush, an artist. The red splatter is urban expressionism.
I ain't no snitch, pigstein. Go forth and forage.
Actually, there is a shortage of people who talk to us in a normal, calm, informative manner.
We weren't put on this earth to make your life pleasant, fucko. Can't you tell? I'm painting a beautiful mural, and I haven't really started it yet. I'm waiting for the right words. Yeah? Thanks. I'm sure the inspiration will come to me now that I have an official...
She means the opposite. You've lessened her desire to deface the building.
Watch your back, ungulate.
This is a wall on the side of an apartment building.
It's been a week and now they show up? Can't get involved.
There must be another way into the building.
knew I should have quit.
You see a young man on a balcony nursing a cigarette. His...
Not looking for any trouble, officer.
It's the voice of someone who has something to hide, my liege.
I don't want to be seen talking to the gendarmerie, if that's okay. I just want to finish my cigarette.
Don't let him go. This could be your witness. The balcony has a great view of the whole thing.
Is it really that important? All right, but make it quick. Once I finish this cigarette, I have to run. I'd even go so far as to say that the view is a little too good, my dear gendarme. Do you have an estimate of when the body will be taken away?
We will remove the body as soon as possible. Now tell us, where were you last Sunday?
Oh. You already asked me that, didn't you?
Wait, is someone else investigating the lynching?
No, not you two. Some more muscular type.
And when did you speak to this more muscular gentleman?
Last week? I don't know. Look.
A downy blanket of white to cover up the miserable poverty of the scene.
You didn't answer the question. What were you doing last Sunday?
I had a friend over. It was my Sunday friend.
Makes sense. Friends are nice on Sunday. You don't have to work. You can just spend time with pals, watching rugby and drinking beer. He doesn't reply, gesturing no with his cigarette. Under the grey sky, snow continues to pile on the neighboring windowsills.
My name? My name is Martin Martinez.
That's definitely not his real name.
No, of course not. Could you please lower your voice?
Ask him again.
And I really need to finish this cigarette.
But he hasn't left yet.
My name?
That's definitely...
No, of course not.
Ask him again.
And I really need...
But he hasn't left yet.
No. We won't. Now, if you'll excuse me, I really need to get going.
Time to bring out your secret charm. Tears and begging. Show him your emotional side. Throw yourself before his very feet like a dog.
Trash?
Please don't go. I'll even stop.
Listen, I really have to go. Good luck with the investigation.
He's gone. No point in running. Tenements like these often have multiple exits. He could be a witness. Him or his Sunday. There has to be a way of getting inside the building. Once we found a way in, we can ask around for his apartment.
Trying to sneak up on me.
Logic error. She's not sleeping right now.
Pig's come to take me out. Trying to sneak snuff me out. Then why are you sneaking up on me like that? It's not a good idea to...
A striking woman leans against the cabin top of her sailing boat, smiling as you approach. Her green raincoat glistens with droplets. A silk scarf is tied around her throat.
Good afternoon, officers. I'm Joyce. Joyce L. Messier. I represent the board of Wild Pines, the owners of the harbour. You gentlemen must be from the RCM. Phaeton, my maiden name. I'm glad to see you here. I was dispatched to handle a strike, not a lynching. Anything I can do to assist the RCM in this matter, I will, gladly.
That is good to hear, madame. My colleague will take the lead on this interview. I should let you know that he is recovering from an unusual medical episode. Very unusual. But I can assure you of his ultimate competency.
There's a trace of irony in his voice. Mischief, even. The lieutenant is hatching some scheme. He's trying to signal something. He wants you to play up your condition.
How interesting. I wish you a swift recovery. In the meanwhile, you have my full cooperation, and the full cooperation of the Wild Pines group. Why, yes I am. The boat? No. It is called Cordelati 19 because that's the type of sloop it is.
The word "it" feels strange. Such a beautiful boat deserves a proper name.
Okay. How about Cordelati 19? Why? Because it was manufactured in Revachol East by a company called Cordelati, and its hull is 19 paces long.
She makes a point of being unromantic about it.
Why Dolores? Well, it means nothing to me. I think I'll stick with the factory name. But thank my sloop, I like it a lot. It's the eel's hips, baby.
I'm enjoying this part of the interview. It has so little to do with the murder we're investigating.
I really do, the lieutenant thinks. Is she thrown off yet? He's looking at the woman, assessing her.
Of course there are. We're on an archipelago. How else are you supposed to get around? Yes, we are. We are on Le Caillou.
Technically, the neighboring Ozone and Fas a la Mer island groups are archipelagos, while Lakaiu, by contrast, is a single fertile landmass, the fourth largest island in the world. It is not an archipelago.
Okay, if you want to get technical, the point is we're all on islands here, and sail is still the most expedient way to get from one island to another, especially when you're in a hurry to resolve a strike. I haven't seen anyone else drive a souped-up Capri Kenema motor carriage either.
Actually, that motor carriage has been specially issued to serve as a patrol and pursuit vehicle. It's for crossing long distances in the greater Revachol industrial harbor. It's not a toy.
Neither is this. A toy, I mean. It's a machine for crossing long distances in the Bay of Revachol, between the city and the islands.
You need to make this lady admit she's only riding around on this boat because she's rich. You have the guns and the ammo. Take this Claassen fiend down.
Oh my, the E word. You mean to say that it's a symbol of conspicuous consumption? That I'm a member of the ruling class?
Detective, may I remind you that Mrs. Messier is a professional negotiator.
Then what does that say? Does it say docking reserved for residents of Rue de 33A, this old proletarian haunt here? As I said, plenty of people drive boats, of all social strata. Yes, anyway. Of course there are. We're on an archipelago. Yes, we are.
Technically, the neighboring ozone.
Okay, if you want to get technical, I haven't seen...
Actually, it's for crossing long distance.
Neither is this.
You need to make this... You have the guns and the ammo.
Oh my, the E word. You mean to say that it's a
Detective, may I...
Then what does 33A? This... Yes, anyway. Officer, I assure you I'm...
Her nonchalance might be related to something called the Wayfarer Act. A law that says she doesn't need a license. Sly Fox, you're not aggressive enough to harass her further on this.
Good. Quite a few things, I'm afraid. The information I'm to share with you includes sensitive trade secrets. For the sake of my employer, I have to ask for your names and badge numbers.
Of course, ma'am. We should have introduced ourselves. I am Lieutenant Kitsuragi, and this is my colleague from Precinct 41. I'm afraid he doesn't have his badge at the moment. I hope mine will suffice.
How curious. Why is that, Detective?
Awkwardness washes over the conversation. The woman doesn't like this turn of events.
I see. So, are you saying you lost your badge during the course of this episode? I can't hear you, darling. Speak up, please. Oh, dear. Some kind of encephalopathic amnesia. I do believe you, naive as that may sound. I simply can't imagine what you gain by faking such a condition.
As I said, ma'am, his technique may be very unconventional, but he is an officer of the RCM.
Of course, I sympathize, but I'm afraid I simply can't share anything more until I've seen that badge.
Hang on. She's a professional negotiator. She should be open to some sort of mutually beneficial arrangement. She's a negotiator. Just float a favor at her. Insinuate.
I will be frank with you. If I'm going to break protocol, I need to be able to justify it to my superiors. They're going to want to see...
You're in, but expect her to drive a hard bargain.
Reports from inside Terminal B suggest it's a hub for the local drug trade. This is an open secret in Martinez. The Union controls the terminal, so it goes to reason. The company has tried looking into this matter before, to no avail. Perhaps someone with your authority and resources might turn over the right stones. Or you can recover your badge. Though if I may be blunt with you, it sounds like that may be a lost cause.
Detective, a word in private before we continue. This is not going quite as I hoped it would, Detective. Honestly, I was expecting you to use your unorthodox technique to keep her off balance, and not volunteer us to be her henchman. This woman is running circles around us. She might have known about your misplaced badge all along, or she's simply an adept improviser. Either way, we've played straight into her hands.
He doesn't let it show, but there is a limit to how much the consequences of your unprofessional behavior can cost the investigation. Maybe this is all her plan. She might have heard about you.
Oh, that would be fantastic, but do we have the time? The world is large and your badge is 8 by 6 centimeters.
The situation might have changed drastically by the time you locate it. Time is of the essence.
You could request a new one from your station, but that would literally take months. I'm sure you will, Detective. I wouldn't go that far. Her reaction did come off as sincere to me. I think she's just quick to adapt. She's a professional, after all. No. If there is reasonable suspicion, we must investigate. Otherwise, she could claim we are siding with the Union. What I propose is, we ask her, then we investigate, briefly. But do not share the outcome of this investigation with her. We tell her it's done and demand for her information on the lynching.
You're back. Good. What can I help you with?
Is what you want to say, but it isn't that easy, is it? Look at that lady. Take a gander. Squint your eyes, bub. A well-kempt, yet tastefully short bob of dark hair. Despite the fur, while dull orange pearls hang from her head. These are the kind eyes of the rich man that seem to say everything is within reason. Now look at you, you misery-clad simian. Barely able to... You're poor. Poor as balls. You can't ask this person for money. You're too... Maybe you could ask her for some stock tips. Oh God, the lieutenant is here too.
As I was saying, if there's any way I may be of assistance, please don't hesitate to ask. It's quite straightforward. Someone is using Terminal B to smuggle raw ingredients from the Samar and Isola into
Ingredients for what?
Meth and dextroamphetamine, GBL, and various synthetic psychedelics. Yes. After they clear the terminal, we lose track. The actual production is taking place.
Wild Pine seems to be well apprised of the local drug trade, ma'am. Do you mean...
We're in logistics. It's our business to know. And no. As far as the company knows, the Union does not produce it. They try... Yes, but you won't get anything out of Evrat and the Dock Workers Union.
The handoff. The motor lorries at the roundabout.
Precisely. Someone needs to move the ingredients from the harbour into the city. Once they reach Jamrock, they're distributed to a network of local manufacturers. Well,
how convenient that they're stranded like beached whales at that roundabout.
Perhaps you've noticed that a number of lorries are tangled in a traffic jam at the roundabout just now. Interview the drivers who are still hanging about. One of them might be waiting for a crucial shipment. I'll be explicit. If you find this driver, I will share company secrets with you.
Uncovering Union secrets could also give you an upper hand when dealing with them.
Yes? Excellent. According to my reports, there are at least 3 lorry drivers lingering near the roundabout. It may come to nothing, or it may just blow the case wide open. In the meantime, let me know if there's any other way I may be of assistance. Everything. Right up to, but not including, trade secrets. First, you'd have to repeal the Emergencies Act of Trade and Aliment.
The octopus that straddles Revachol, the Emergencies Act, is the cornerstone of post-war Revachol, inseparable from the world it created.
I am glad you see it that way. To repeal the act would mean repealing the coalition government.
You'd be shooting yourself in the foot, in other words.
But I am derailing us. You wanted to know about the strike. I believe the official title is Senior Labour Negotiator. In practice, I'm a grocery clerk. I relay the union's demands to Wild...
And how are the talks going?
They're not. That's the problem. The union stopped all... Now they won't even let me into the harbour. There's a 2-meter-20 racist behemoth blocking the gates. Oh, so you've met him. Has he begun...
My colleague has his peculiarities. Let's not go into this part.
Of course. To each their own. Let's say I was not making the kind of progress I'd hoped for.
And when did you first...
I arrived 3 weeks ago. Yes, in the middle of February.
But the strike began in December.
I wasn't the original negotiator here. I took over after Mr. Gaumont hit a wall with Mr. Clare, the union boss. Mr. Clare refused to speak with Gaumont despite concessions he'd granted the union in prior negotiations.
This isn't the first time the union has gone on strike?
Heavens, no. There have been 2 prior strikes. Both times the union won significant concessions, including overtime pay and a medical plan. This time their demands are more, I guess you could say, aggressive.
Ludicrous even. It's meant.
Mr. Clare told him to... How did he put it? Fuck off, midget. Gaumont is short of stature, you see. Yes. Keep in mind, this is a negotiator Mr. Clare has worked with before, and who was more than fair with him and the union.
Sounds like usual aggressive posturing.
There are leaflets every...
Most of the workers probably don't know what that means.
Fortunately, they explain just so you understand.
An opening gambit, surely.
They're having a blast. But how can they have... So I hoped. And now...
Excuse me. From whom did you hear about this lynching?
I first heard it from the boyer at the gates. The one whose very name advertises his aversion to work. I think he said it was, "Call me mañana."
No, wait. The chief negotiator heard it from a man at the gates. Surely the Wild Pines group has more effective channels of information. After all, 2,200 people are on strike.
The scabs? You mean the huddled mass if they were organized by...
It's implied. She's open to discussing this matter with you at a later occasion.
Everard Clare is a man of the...
She's being sarcastic. Don't take her...
Of course not. Everard is fantastically... He is the most corrupt Yes. Edgar looks exactly... It's how they circumvent the term limits, you see. With a funny... The Débardeurs Union was organized labor at its best, as they say. Then some...
A mob. The Débardeurs...
Refreshingly honest, officer. And your opinion, detective? If I may ask. I'm a curious and talkative person, you see. Why do you think so?
What she calls corruption is simply an aesthetic category.
Point taken. But enough about Everard. I'm glad you asked. There was a woman, the previous forewoman of the Union.
Disappeared?
Yes. On the last day of the local chapter elections, her daughter phoned in and said she wasn't running anymore. Or coming to work. Ever. Downright haunting, if you ask me. The point of the presentation is, these kinds of things happen around...
Thank you for your concern, ma'am. We'll be just fine.
Of course. How else can I help? What we...
There was a touch of discomfort there. She wants to...
The Pines' core competency, and that is...
The Wild Pines group is one of the original Revacholian Indo-tribes. Companies awarded royal monopolies by the king, the suzerain himself, centuries ago. The king is long gone, but several of the Indo-tribes remain. Saint-Baptiste, Elysium, an unknown entity known as Brightest Star.
Why, thank you. I'm not at liberty to discuss the company balance sheet, but I can tell you that last year, the company... And to think, there are years when the Warpines employ 72... They started as an centuries of care, deliberation, and madness have gone into this endeavor. Vessels parked... You know more than you let on. Certainly it helped, but most of the original Indo tribes have failed, or been absorbed. You mean aside from being the terminal's legal owners? Who are responsible for moving 8% of the world's cargo? We built this district.
We. There it is. She owns up to it.
All the best parts of it. Rue de Saint-Ghislain, with its bastions. The plazas, Meteor and Mosaic. Even some of the old street lamps have been put back thanks to the investment. Before Martinez was swallowed by the industrial harbour, even before it was part of Revachol, long before Terminal B, a company getaway, for a weekend or a summer holiday. Then came the revolution. But that's another matter. I'm here to make sure the Pines can fulfill their responsibilities to the place they built.
With your help, hopefully, says her warm tone. Voila, you're doing it.
Of course. How much do you need?
She's surprisingly nonchalant about this. Could it be that she somehow knows more about your predicament than she's letting on?
Come now. Nobody carries that much cash on their person. Particularly in a place... And even if I did, I still would not give you 10,000 real.
Her tone makes clear that you've violated some kind of rich person taboo. Wouldn't be the first time.
It is. Fast, and I like high fidelity anything. That's a good sum. Not too small. not fantastically large?
She removes a few notes and hands them to you. The paper...
So, I hope I didn't just bribe you, officer. It may not be technically illegal under the Emergency Act, but still.
You're right, ma'am, that donations are permitted under the Emergency Act, unseemly as it may be, as long as they are properly logged with the precinct.
Which he most certainly will do. Now, how else can I help the RCM today? Of course, Detective.
Advanced race theory. Everything is calm in the eye of the race storm. Your mind is lucid and bright. The mind-bending phylogenetics appear more distant and, to be fair, a little ridiculous. The great race mystery has cleared up. All that's left to do is verbalize your thoughts. Go and talk to Measurehead about your newly found insights. Hey. Psst. Psst. Hey, yes, you. Word on the street is you're ready to start building communism again. You keep saying things like, down with the bourgeoisie, eat the rich, sodomize the landowners, impale all people who have more than 25 real in their pockets. Oh yes, the mass of ambivalence. Don't deny it. You're about everyone can see that. So tell me, do you have any questions before we fire up the big communism builder? Or do we get right down to failure? It's about fail. Of course you do. You are failure. You alone. Against every living thing. Against every human alive. You against the atom, the charm and the spin. We're the whole world. Now get to work, comrade. Oh yeah, get the firing squads and the animal wagons ready. Too late to back out now. There he still is, looking right through you with his white eyes. The body below is entirely dedicated to that
activity.
He's about to blow! Cop's gonna...
promising race pupil returns. And look, babe. The mignon.
So unadvanced.
The basic race education he received in high school has led him basic racist. I take pity on you. You clearly want to enter the harbor bad. Like a little boy who wants to go very well. You may enter the door once. Our race conversation here has...
Finally. Let's go.
An imposing combination of a punch clock and a payphone is looking down at you from the wall. A note on the side says, "Tokens unavailable due to strike. Use change." The machine swallows your coin and seems to be waiting for your next move. It's unclear whether you actually have muscle memory. Right now, you're undoubtedly... Sure, why not? Muscle memory is a tricky thing. On second glance, someone has forgotten to properly close one of the drawers.
It's unfortunate for the Union to just leave their paperwork lying.
Let's see what's inside, he thinks. The drawer opens smoothly. Hundreds of documents containing logistical data. Two kinds of transactions stand out. Materials coming into Revachol from the outside world, from Muindi, Grad, and the same materials being handed over. It's hard to make sense of this thicket of company names, dates, quantities, and percentages. You try to focus. Whatever's hidden here is hidden well. Concentration isn't enough. Only a trained accountant with a background in logistics would be able to really make sense of it. However, there is a little handwritten. It appears to be a to-do list written in large, uneven. Remember, Leo, Everard's shoes, special whirling borscht, water Everard's plants, sweep office. All items on the list have been crossed out and the note itself is crumpled.
Everard Clare, probably, the head of the Debarders Union. One of his aides must have left it. Nothing incriminating here.
The special borscht seems a bit odd in the list. Hundreds of documents containing and the same material. You already went through all of these. Remember, Leo, all items on the list have been crossed out and the note itself is crumpled. The drawer slides shut, smooth. looks like someone left his tarpaulin cloak hanging on the railing here. There is a white rectangle clearly visible on its back. This is your cloak. You can feel it.
Yes, it does bear the RCM insignia. And the service cloak is...
As your fingers touch the tarpaulin, it almost feels like the cloak wants to deliver a message of comfort through your fingertips. I will shield you from the elements and give my life for yours. That's what the cloak is relaying. Control panel with several knobs. 2 buttons marked Marsh and Arrête are faded with Marsh on, Arrête off. With a loud grind, the crane shifts overhead, moving a massive metal container through the air. With a surprisingly quiet thunk, the crane places the container.
I can't see how that was worth the wreckers, except for seeing the crane in action, which I admit was satisfying.
The crane does not return to its original position. It does not move at all. Before you stands a cargo container, just one of many in the yard.
You do? There are 1 million containers here. Why are you fixating on this one? There may very well be, but we are not here to look for that. We are not here to interact with containers. We are here to talk to the Union, right?
No reply. You attempt to turn the handle, to no avail. To your left, the lieutenant considers your actions with some puzzlement. Why are you even trying to open a door with red?
Why are you what? Are you satisfied, detective?
Container, container, I'll turn you nice and red. Container, container.
The lyrics to this container song are being made up. The accent is so thick, it's impossible not to notice he's Ubi from the Vanishing Peninsula.
Container, container, used to be Wild Pines. Everard, 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 he looks after everyone.
The look in his deep blue eyes is as sincere as you've ever seen. Kind of makes you feel like
I see you are not a union man, mister. Did you get lost? You're not one of them scabs, are you? I mean, I don't personally mind. Folks is just folks, you know, and folks gotta eat. Just some of the other guys don't look too kindly on the scabbing kind, if you know what I mean, mister. Oh, that one. That should be empty as far as I know. Lots of containers here have nothing in them. They're
Told you.
Oh, yes, yes. I leave all kinds of notes for myself. That old head of mine ain't so good at keeping things in no more. I almost forgot about... Oh, yes. I've been taking special whirling borscht to the men every day since the strike started. It's very, very good. Makes a man feel so warm and happy. Yes, yes. I'm taking it to them. The borscht keeps them happy and in fighting spirits. Makes you all warm inside. They brew it in the whirling in rags. Oh, the whirling's cook. He makes it. Them is always talking with Mr. Manana in that weird language and laughing together. He doesn't speak what we speak. He's from Grad. Oh, sure, mister. Sure. You do that. Yes, sir. Oh, yes. Born and raised in Arish, mister. Mum had to leave my dad after he got a bit violent. Took us here to the new world. I was about 10 then. Too old to lose my act. People say us Ubis are up to all sorts of trouble with sheep and other animals and whatnot. I just want you to know there was never any of that where I come from. No.
Thank you for clarifying that, sir.
Oh, most of the guys are down at the gates, keeping the scabs from coming in. We're on a strike. The whole union is. You don't have to work when you're on strike. Ha! We haven't worked for 2 months now.
So no one is working?
Not everyone is down there, of course. Mr. Everard is in his office, where he always is, and Jean-Luc is guarding the gate. But Titus and his boys got into some drunken trouble and Everard sent them on a nice vacation, for a week or so. Oh, I'm not really supposed to talk about that. That's union business. Him and his boys stirred up something in town. Probably drank too much and got into a fight or something. I heard Mr. Everard telling them to take some time off. No, I don't think they killed anyone. Let's better talk about something else. Titus and his boys do good work.
He probably doesn't know anything anyway. Who in their right mind would tell him?
Oh, you want Mr. Everard? Guys like Mr. Everard. Oh, Mr. Everard is where he always is. In his office, of course. Oh, I'm just making some covers for them containers here. Yes, I am. Yes, I am. So it's easier for the...
The containers in the yard are green in Wild Pine's livery, and the mountains rising behind Leo is all red in Union colors. It's like some red infection was spreading outwards from the container yard's core.
No, not really. Mr. Everard doesn't tell me all the big things. Says I go and tell them to everyone.
Yes, they are hiding it from the inside. All the red containers have the Debarders Union logo on them.
Oh, no trouble at all, mister. No trouble at all. Yes, yes. I'm like Mr. Everard's right-hand man. Actually, Miss Beaufort is the right-hand man, but she's a lady.
Who is this, Miss Beaufort?
A real pretty lady with a skin like those Douai Sucre candy bars my missus likes so much. But I can't listen to the radio all the time.
Stay on this Miss Beaufort topic.
Oh, Lizzie. She is a real sharp tool. Mr. Everett put her through some fun.
He respects that word. That's obvious.
But she's a real nice girl. Grew up in this here neighborhood.
For a fraction of a second, there's sadness in his...
If me missus and me was to have a child, I'd be real happy if she turned out like her. But she can't have... Dr. Lemaitre said so. And she knows about such things. Been a doctor for almost 50 years.
So Everett trained a lawyer named Miss Buford. Interesting. You see disdain in the lieutenant's dark eyes when they meet yours for a moment. He does not approve of...
Oh, mister, I do a lot more than that. I really do most everything around here. Mr. Everett said many times I'm...
He really takes great pride in being in Everett's good graces.
Bye-bye now.
Before you is a walrus of a man seated behind a large desk. He looks up from his work, not the least bit surprised to see you. With great effort, he straightens himself up in his chair.
Welcome, Mr. Dubois, Mr. Kitsuragi. It's good of you two to stop by. Please, have a seat. I'm Everett Clare, head of the Debarders Union here in Martinez. I'd offer you my hand, but unfortunately my health prevents me from getting up.
He looks extremely comfortable. The tiny folding chair, on the other hand, looks like a torture device.
You go ahead, detective.
Whatever he has in store for you, it can't be good, he thinks. I'll do. Forget about that. What's with this Dubois stuff? You're getting some seriously bad vibes from that name.
Please, Mr. Dubois, let us converse in a civilized manner, as equals. Take a seat. I insist.
It's nothing. Yes, that's probably right. It's nothing. Forget about it. Filter it out. He's trying to throw you off your game with this Dubois nonsense. Don't give him the pleasure.
Very well, Mr. Dubois. I respect a man with strong convictions. I, too, have convictions. One of which is that I will not engage with any man who won't face me at eye level. Should you find yourself more amenable in the future, I'd gladly resume our conversation.
You're no Titan of Elysium, buddy. He's got you in a fork. Sit down or leave.
Excellent, Mr. Dubois. I can see that you're a reasonable man, and reasonable men can be of great use to one another. So tell me, how can the head of the Debarders Union help a representative of the Revachol Citizens Militia today?
The chair you're sitting on has got to be the most uncomfortable chair in the world. It's violating your backside.
Oh, by the way, I heard you got a rather rude reception from a certain Lawrence Gart. Some people have no manners. This should take care of that nonsense. It should be sufficient to cover your expenses for a few days and patch over your differences with the cafeteria manager. Go ahead, take it.
Hey, that's 25 real. That's good money. Think of all the stuff you could.
Okay, okay. I respect a man with principles. No, now, I'd like to set your mind at ease about one other matter. Your lost gun. Let me assure you, Union people are on it as we speak. I've got my best hounds looking for that lost gun.
His slug-like lips move, but all you hear is an echo. Lost gun, lost gun, lost gun. The world is swallowed by a black hole of fear. Only two words escape its gravitational pull. Lost and gun. When he said, "Don't worry," he actually meant, be very worried.
I know everything, Harry. Right now, I know that you're worried. Don't be worried. Everything's going to be all right. It's not like you left it loaded. You didn't lose a loaded gun. Local children aren't out there playing with it right now, pointing it into their own mouths. It's in a safe place. I just know it. I have a feeling everything's going to be all right.
Officer, we will deal with this later. We don't need Mr. Clare's help with this.
I wouldn't be so sure about that.
Officer.
I wouldn't be so sure about that.
God, you're sweating. Your knee is jerking. You're about to cry, aren't you? You're about to cry because you lost your gun and those children are gonna shoot.
Mr. Dubois, you don't...
What is this, Mr. Dubois? He keeps repeating. What?
Mr. Dubois! Mr. Dubois! Harry! Mr. Dubois, are you okay? Can I get you a...
Maybe you could use your hands somehow, in a kind of throw-in motion, like you're throwing that Mr. Dubois act right back at him. He's Mr. Dubois.
Don't be dramatic. I can see your condition isn't terminal.
What an odd demonstration of... you got me, Harry. I don't even know what. As entertaining as it...
Okay, enough. We are here to ask you some questions.
It is about time to stop embarrassing yourself. Questions will help you regain some of your lost dignity.
My dear Harry, there are literally millions of... Harry, you smooth-talking son of a bitch. Time is a precious...
Smooth talking? Maybe that's the way to go about opening the container. You should at least try convincing it.
What? Harry, how could you say that to me? You know I appreciate a joke as much...
The reaction appears to be sincere, but it's impossible to tell with this guy, honestly.
You've hurt me, Harry. Me, a friend. I trust you, like I trust all my friends. And I know you'll never talk...
He's hiding his real reaction beneath courtesy.
Thank you for your understanding. We will continue to do what we...
You too, Lieutenant. You know, I like you, but you never were my favorite. I'm a Harry guy. I'm Team Harry.
None taken. Did we have anything else to do here, Harry?
Honestly, I didn't want to bring it up, Harry. I heard you have become Measurehead's race pupil. Of course, Harry. Of course. You're not some kind of a fantastic... No one's gonna know what you did with race there, Harry. Your race bonanza is safe with me. Word of... Anyway, I assure you, I am a very well-informed man. Oh, of course. That's your main thing here. That's why you're in Martinez. I mean, it's no secret that the lynching is connected to the strike. So much to talk about. Honestly, it's been weighing on me so heavily. I understand you need to but there's a thing that's been keeping me up at night. I want to talk about the hanging. I mean, if we could just calmly talk, exchange information, we could blow this thing wide open.
Yes, that sounds good. Let's do that.
But I can't think straight with this thing weighing on me. You're police officers, aren't you? I have a crazy idea. You guys are basically door-opening machines, incredibly talented at opening doors. Oh, you're being too modest, my friend.
An excellent opportunity presents itself, sire. You could win the trust of the arch-liar, pretend to play into his hand. Then, should you wish, bend his efforts towards your own.
Fantastic, my friend. You can get the key from Manana. He's down by the gates. Manana's like a free agent in the Union. Special operations. Just open the door. You don't need to go in or anything. I just want that weasel to come home and see the unlocked door. Oh, that's very nice. I haven't gotten around to her yet. I'm very, very busy, you see. One thing I want to make very clear, Harry, is that this is not some kind of union versus corporation. Yes, we're all trying to do what's best for Martinez. Don't feel like you shouldn't work with her just because you and I are such good friends. I'm not a jealous guy. What do you mean, Harry? Nothing. I let him go. He's an old man, Harry. I wanted him to spend more time with his family. God knows how long he's got left. Harry! I have little people in my organization. Honestly, I'm beginning to think you're a midget, Vanished? Harry, Oh, did I...
Wait, there was no mention of a casserole from Joyce.
Harry, Harry, Harry. Do not fixate on this little matter. Maybe it was a rabbit stew. Or a hare...
This particular brand of humor he has, it makes for a fine distraction. If it's spilled blood you're looking for, then there certainly isn't any in his expression or demeanor now.
If she actually wants to see me, she will find a way. Any good negotiator would. And I just don't have...
He doesn't want to see her. It's as simple as that.
Of course, Harry. I have no interest in what she is doing, but I myself tell her about all of it. My brother's picture, my singing swordfish clock. Tell her how overweight I am and how I'm helping you find your lost gun.
It is rather interesting to tell people things about each other, isn't it? It was nice telling him about her right now.
I don't know what that means. You know what?
He sincerely has no idea what you were talking about. And...
Yes, your gun will be found.
The only way to find it seems to be working with him. He might even be holding your gun hostage.
Harry, Harry. I was only kids could be playing gun roulette with it as we speak. Teenage gangs could be...
I assure you we are working on locating the
The lieutenant is concerned about the lost gun and feels that the fact you haven't prioritized looking for it is unfortunate, if inevitable.
Excellent, Mr. Kitsuragi. That's... Of course. Let us My God, so it's true. I didn't want to believe it, but you are a fantastic science fiction amnesiac cop.
I think the odds of that are very...
It might be a good idea to hide your confusion. I mean, see what his game is first.
So good to hear that, Harry. Apparently, my sources were wrong. However, if you did have a spot of memory trouble, I could help you out. With my
Words flow like a river of honey from his lips. I guess word has already reached him. No matter.
Are you trying to tell me you've gotten hold of some of our documents?
Mr. Kitsuragi, would you mind? Me and Harry are talking about his lost identity.
Asking too many questions will make you look weak. You should maybe focus on the folder. Don't just jump to the folder. That's not smart. Shows you're on the edge. Do some probing first.
Well, Harry, if I were to sum you up in one word, it would be apologetic. Well, you sure come off as very confident in all our interactions, Harry. But of course, Harry, your precinct is the 41st and you live in Jamrock. You're a Jamrock boy. A long way...
He doesn't really seem to know any more about it.
Family? Harry, you're not a family man. There's not one peep of family in here. Unless you think you're a family man, do you strike yourself as a family man, Harry? Family, Harry, is the most important thing in the world. It's Harry. Harry Dubois. No, I'm really not. You are Harry. Don't be silly, Harry. Harry Dubois, that's... Mr. Kitsuragi doesn't seem even slightly empathetic to your memory loss, Harry. I, however, wish to help you any way I can. Ah, this? My friends in your organization...
This translates into... Haha.
I find that very suspicious.
I'm afraid this is meant for Union eyes only, Mr. Kitsuragi. I'm sure you understand. Please continue, huh?
As you look at the folder, Everard covers it with his hand and pets it. He's hiding it from you because it's not a real RCM folder. It's just another one of those brown folders you saw in the file cabinet.
Okay, Harry, you got me. This is from the Census Bureau, not the RCM. Those Census Bureau people are absolutely corrupt. You should do something about them.
He got the name from the Census Bureau, and everything else from your actions here in Martinez.
Yes, Mr. Kitsuragi, from the Census Bureau. Like I said, now I'm actually a very busy man, so is there anything else?
That means he doesn't really know anything about you. A pity. The mystery of you will have to remain a mystery for the time being.
Yes, that's what I said. Try to keep up, okay? Let's move on. Wait. You need this to get in and out through the gate. Here, you're one of us now. A real red and white Union man.